Pops here. You know, it wasn't too long ago I was talking to y'all about a invitation that I got to a class reunion that we didn't go to. But we got an invitation the other night to go to a dinner. It wasn't really a class reunion. It was a dinner. I guess it was as much of a class reunion as anything. There wasn't that many people in Julie Darling's graduating class. It's a very, very small town. Very small class. I mean, the town she's from ain't no bigger than Mayberry. And, why, the little school was so small, they had a basketball team, but they were so small they didn't have no football team, didn't have enough boys. Well, they had enough boys, they just didn't have enough boys that was interested in having a football team. They had enough boys to play basketball, so they had them a basketball team. But anyway, I'm a smoking my Kiko, my little leather Kiko, and some Sutliff vanilla custard. But we went to a dinner. Bunch of old folks. Bunch of old folks. I guess it was a bunch of old folks pretending to be folks that they weren't. Some of them not. Some of them being just who they were, but a lot of them being, yeah, some of them was sad. But it was her, yeah, I won't say it was her class reunion. It was a meeting of a bunch of different classes. I didn't care nothing about going. She wanted to go, so we went. She sat there browsing around, going from table to table, talking to people that she acted like she knew. Some of them she did know. Some of them she remembered. You know, for her it was easy to remember things that far back, but things that happened more recently she has trouble remembering. I sat there for a little while reading the newspaper. She she had a big time. I had a big time. There's some things that happened there that I'll never forget. She pointed out a guy sitting over at one table. It was about halfway across the room. She said there's a guy sitting there nursing, I won't say a bottle. He kept ordering by the drink. It looked like vodka to me, but he just kept ordering drink after drink after drink after drink after drink. And you could tell this man, he was waving sheets. He was more than 9 sheets in the wind, but he was toasted. I asked her if she knew who he was, and she said, oh yeah. She said it was her first boyfriend. I asked her, I said, what's the story on that cat? She said she heard that round about the time that she and he broke up, they were seniors in high school. She said, around about the time that they broke up, this guy started drinking. Said he hadn't been sober since. I said, dang. Who could celebrate that long? She reached over and slapped me on the arm. I told her, I said, that old boy, I said, he's so drunk he couldn't hit a bull in the butt with a bass fiddle. Let me tell you something. Here's a life lesson for you. You can't fall off the ground. This guy he was full-blown gone. He couldn't find his ass with both hands and a search warrant. I got up and went to the bathroom. Went in the bathroom, took care of my business, come walking back out, and there was these two women standing at a mirror out just outside the bathroom. Of course, there's bathroom here and a mirror in between them. I hate it when women, I say women now. Now let me back up. I hate it when people talk about, ugly people talk about beauty sleep. I just wanted to tell these two, listen, y'all don't need beauty sleep. Y'all need to hibernate. This was bad. It was just an awful situation. They was talking about beauty tips. And this woman one of them looked over at the other one. She said, I started out in the world with nothing. I wanted to look over at her and I said, honey, you still got most of it left. I wanted to tell her, honey, you can butter your butt up all you want to, but you ain't never gonna make it a biscuit. I decided to myself, I said, never insult an alligator until you're plumb across the creek. Mark my word. Anyway, I went back to my table and sat down. I noticed that Jill was meandering. Anyway, she come back and she sat down and she got telling me about folks that she's pointing out, people that she knew. She'd tell me about this guy and that guy and that guy and that guy. She'd say, that guy right there, that's Ralph so-and-so. That guy used to lie all the time. He lied so much he'd have to hire somebody to call his dog for him. Good Lord. Then she pointed to this guy and said, that guy there, he was the biggest jock in school. Played basketball. Boy, he thought a lot of himself. Used to cheat on tests. Keep up his GPA. Yeah. Now, this guy, he was so full of nuts and berries. He was more full of nuts and berries than a fat bear. Wouldn't hurt his back none to carry his brain. Lord have mercy. I noticed she had this big old purse with her. She was carrying a big purse. Jill don't normally carry no big old purse. And folks kept staring at me. Now, I'd met some of the folks that she I'd met some of the folks that she went to school with, some of her friends from the past. And I'm thinking to myself that generally, when folks stare at you, they've kind of got something to blame on you, or they're, you know. Anyway, you fixing to get a finger pointed at you or something? Well, come to find out, she had that big old purse full of my CDs. She'd been selling them for $10 a piece. She had a couple $100 by the time we left that night. Now, I'd made up my mind, here a while back, that I was going to start giving them away to folks, at my leisure, of my choosing. I guess, no one's more proud of me than my biggest fan. She's proud of me, and I get that. But she pulled the wool over my eyes. She made us a couple $100. Anyway, the next morning, I figured, well, we don't need to be carrying the cash. We never carry cash. So I stopped by the bank, and I was going to put the money in the bank. And of course, Ole'Pops, I'm not one to be serious. So I walked in. We was on our way back to Murfreesboro anyway. I walked into the bank. Julie Darling walked in there with me. And the teller asked me. She said, "Can I help you?" And I was just messing with her. I said, "Yeah, I want to open a joint account." She said, "With who?" And I said, "With anybody that's got a lot of money." She looked at me kind of funny. And I just smiled and I said, "No, I need a deposit slip." She handed me a deposit slip and I started filling it out. I handed her the money, and Jill's standing there, and she says, "As a courtesy, would you like for us to help you check your balance?" Julie looked over at her and asked her. She said, "Why? Do you have a 6'4", 300-pound teller back there that wants to try to push him over or something?" I had to stop her. She was in one of her moods. She wakes up that way. Mornings for her. I tell you, she's one of those people that's she's gonna die, and her last words are gonna be, "I left $1 million buried under the..." Anyway, y'all have a good night. I'm Ole'Pops.